So I'm working on my rear seat delete, and there'll be a separate video for that. But part of what I need to do is get my side panels and all that stuff back in. I've got the speakers in, so I've got my seat belts, but I need to get them cleaned up before I put them back in. So I'm going to work on that so I can go ahead and get my rear seat delete done and get everything measured out exactly how I want it. So I forgot to mention, the reason I was cleaning the seat belts is part of the other thing I have to do is I've got to get the side panels back in. One, before I can put the side windows in, and two, before so I can make sure everything lines up. So the side panels are over there, but the seat belts have got to go through the side panels. So I've got to do that before I put the side panels in. All right, so we're going to start working on recovering these. These two, I'm trying to take this off. It did pretty good. A little bit of foam came off here, and a little bit here on this corner came off. But I've got to get to the cracks. So I started just kind of trying to peel it back, and it just kept coming. So I decided to go ahead and just take it all off. I mean, like I said, it came out in pretty good chunks. These, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I decide to do with those. I might just leave that on there, clean that up, and just go over it. But, yeah. So, we'll try to get this one off now. Alright, so got this one off. This one did not come off as easy as the other one, as you can tell. This one, actually, when I got down here, this was already all torn off. It had already pulled up and was torn off. But I think it'll be okay. I think I'll be able to form that. When I fill this in, I'll put some here, and I'll be able to form it as best I can to try to get it back to original. Because, you know, some of this came off over here and some over here. So I'll work on kind of forming that up. When I stick my foam in, I'll stick some extra on the corners and down here as well. I'll do that same thing on the other one. But it came off fairly easy. I did use a heat gun sometimes when it got real sticky, so I didn't really grab a whole lot, but it still came off in big sheets again, pretty much. I mean, some of it came off in little pieces, but I mean, nothing really smaller than that. So we'll get those cracks chiseled out and get the stuff foamed in, and then we'll go ahead and just wrap these few pieces in that leather that I bought. All right, so we've got the cracks filled in and stuff built up, so we'll let that dry, and then we'll start shaping that and getting that off of where the cracks are. All right, so we used the power washer. We power washed it. Now we've got our Resolve sitting on it. And now I'm going to take, this is what I did with the other carpets. I'll take my brush and really get down in there nice and deep with it. Power wash it, and then maybe even do the Resolve again, but that's what we'll do. So here we go. We cut the foam off. Once again, did a good job of filling in the cracks. Did a pretty good job of forming back all that foam that came off and that crumbled. You know, like this corner here. This corner was missing completely. So it did pretty good. All in all. So I'm happy with that. So we can go ahead and we can cover those then. So we'll clean this up, and I think we're going to work on getting the light bulbs and the gauges then. All right, so I'm working outside today. It's just an absolutely gorgeous day out. There's no humidity. It's like 70 degrees, a little breeze. So it's just beautiful out here. So I've exchanged all the bulbs. So here's what I used for all these little ones. And then this is what I used for the bulb for the battery. So that's the battery bulb that's out. These are all the used ones. So I didn't go LED. I figured I've heard that it's dependent on which way you put them in and all this stuff. And, you know, who knows how long I'm going to keep this car. These bulbs should last for as long as I keep this car. You can see some were rusted pretty good. So, yep, but we've got those exchanged. So that is all the bulbs in the cluster. Gauges are back in the cluster. This would have gone a lot faster if I had been able to find my box. It was under the car, of all places. But got the light switches in. So now we're going to try to go ahead and put the gauge cluster back in. Wish me luck. It's starting to look more and more like a car. We will get there eventually. So that is in. So let's see what's next. Maybe the vents. I've got to take a look at this. My brother was here. He tried getting this part in, but it was real flimsy and it was breaking apart. So he wasn't able to get it in. So I got to look and see what I can do about maybe trying to get that a little tighter or something to be able to get that in. But the gauge cluster is in. All right, vents are in. Everything's a lot tighter because of the leather. So it's a little more difficult to get stuff in, but those are in. Okay, so center speaker cover is in. So what I ended up doing was there's little plastic pieces that go in the holes, and then there's little things that on the back of the actual speaker that go into those plastic pieces. Well, I put the plastic pieces in first, and then I was trying to get them in the holes, and it just kept pushing through. What I ended up doing was I put the plastic pieces on the little studs on the back of that first, and then pop that into place. It's not great, but it is in there, and it doesn't really move at all. So I'm going to leave it as is for right now, and just keep moving forward. The next thing really is going to be, because I don't want to do the center console until I get the back seat done, because I don't want to be bumping into it. So the next thing really is probably going to be doing the leather. Doing the leather on all these parts. I've got the leather for the glove box that came with the dash to match, so I can put that on. Then I could put the glove box in, and then I've got those other pieces. And then I realized, hopefully I have enough, before I do the back seat, I've got to wrap those posts. I didn't even think about it until I put, these in just for reference of where everything was going to go. But, yeah. And then the next thing I'll be working on the rear seat. I'm doing that bits and pieces. I kind of take a break from that so I don't get burnt out on it. And I'm waiting on more carpeting anyway, so we'll go ahead and maybe work on getting some of the stuff wrapped up in some nice leather. There's the glove box. That came out pretty good. Not too shabby. So I'm wondering, I still have my little Porsche symbol, and I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to super glue that on there, because I don't have the key for this. But what I would like to do is I'd like to polish it up. So I'm wondering if anybody knows how to polish these up, what I can do to do that. So, but I don't need it to swivel because I don't have the key. It's not like the glove box is going to get ever locked again. So I might just kind of just super glue it so it doesn't move and fall off. So, but yeah, came out pretty good. All right, well, there's the first one covered in leather. Pretty good. Yeah, I just got to poke holes for the whatchamacallit, where the screws are. Little wrinkle right there. But all in all, not too bad. A lot nicer than the cracked, smelly ass vinyl that was there. So that's one down. We'll get working on the other ones. All right, here's the second one. Second one came out better than the first one. But as usual, second time you do something, the better it is. So now, next on the block is going to be these. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right over the vinyl on these because these are not cracked. I'm going to trim off this excess vinyl. And what this is this is for the inside of the door, kind of where I'll show you here real quick. So that is kind of for this part right in here. So when you stick that rubber over it, it covers it up. So this covers everything. So I'm going to trim that off the vinyl, but I will leave some for the leather part of it. So yeah, that's what that's for, but that'll be the next thing to do is those two. All right, so we got both of the A-pillars done. It came out okay. These curves are just kind of hard. I don't know. Once again, I'm not an upholsterer, but came out pretty good. So, and I've got enough left over. I'll just trim what I don't need. So I've got plenty there. So I'll be able to trim what I don't need. And then, unfortunately, I have run out of my adhesive spray because I still have they're up there, but the footboard that goes down there, and then the part that goes up top here where the light is and everything. I still have those to do, and then I still have these two pillars to do. It looks like I'm going to probably have enough left over. I'm trying to figure out my scraps in my leather, but it looks like I'll have enough left over to be able to do those pillars, so I won't have to go and buy any extra leather. So that's done. That's done. I mean, I guess I could put the ignition and the stalks and everything back in. Could do that. But let's see what else. I gotta get this back seat delete done. And unfortunately, I got a spray to hold it down, so I'm not going to be able to do that without the adhesive spray. And then I have to decide. I don't know if I'm going to be able to spray and put I don't know if I'd be able to spray and put carpet over this, that carpeting over this. So I don't know if I'll put foam in there or if I'll just carpet in there. I don't know. I guess I could try to cut maybe a little piece. I wish I had a little piece of that left over. I think I threw it all away. Oh, here's a little piece. So maybe I'll cut I got a little adhesive left, and I got that. Maybe I'll see if I can glue this onto the foam, and if I can, maybe I'll foam and do that. But anyway, so that'll be the next thing that. All right, so I picked up some more trim adhesive. So I've got this piece still to do, and this piece still to do. I hope I have something long enough for that. So we'll work on getting those done. All right, well, there's the front done. Not too bad. We'll have to see how how these fit in there. I might have to trim more of this leather out. Just have to see how those fit into those holes, but not too bad. Couple of spots that have some wrinkles in them, but we just keep trying the best that we can. All these pieces are curved, and they're just weird shapes. So hopefully this last one will be the easiest one, but yeah. So that's the last piece that we have to do, is that one. Final one is done. This actually was not that easy, but it is finished. So there's screw holes here, here, and over here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to slit it a little bit, enough to get the screw and the screwdriver in, to maybe help cover it up a little bit. That's the plan, at least. So, yep. So that's the footwell. That's the passenger side footwell one. So that one's done. All the other pieces are done. Just let them all dry. And I have enough still for both of those pillars. So very, very happy about that. There's plenty there. So I'll be able to get those pillars done. And I've got about 3/4 of the can left. Hopefully that's enough to do the backseat delete, carpeting, and everything. Or at least padding. So, yep, we'll do that. Alright, so that post is done. Just got some trimming to do, but it is done. So the next thing will be this other side. We'll get this side done. I don't know if you remember from my earlier videos, there was this piece of crappy stuff sitting inside here. And I said, well, I'll figure out, I'll do something. So I had a little bit of leftover leather. So I put the leather in there. I'll have to trim it. And I got a little bit of leftover carpety stuff from my rear seat delete. So I think I'll line that bottom one with that. And I think we'll be good to go then on that.